we can start the meeting at 5 because we got to start.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag
of the United States of America
America.
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Well, Allison, you put it on. Oh, here he is.
He's on.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Bilteen. Okay. Hello, Mr. Bilteen. All right, call to order and pledge of allegiance. At this time, we are opening our public hearing for the final budget for 2025-2026 school year for Butte School District Number 1. Public portions of this board meeting are being recorded in accordance with District Policy 1420 and Section 2-3-214 MCA. By remaining in this meeting, all participants and attendees acknowledge they may appear on the recording, which will be placed on the school district website for a minimum of 1 year from the date of the meeting. At this time, we will entertain any proponents for the final budget. We will now have a public hearing for any opponents of the final budget for the 2025 school year, 2026.
Nobody here.
Okay. All right, at the end of the public hearing, approval of adoption of the final budget for 2025-2026 and the fixing of tax levies. Mr. Kevin Patrick.
All right, welcome everybody. Packed house again for the budget meeting.
Jim's here.
All right. So let's see, we've got, I sent this out earlier. I don't know if everybody got it.
Hang on, we have it on there. They have it on their screen over here.
Okay, perfect. So this here is just, this comes from the Mayfair's report. These are all our budgeted funds. And then we have this column here is what our mills are gonna be. And then this is, the amount that the district property taxes would be. So this year, our mills are gonna be, we have 113.46 in these budgeted funds, and our debt service is gonna be 28.3. And then this is just a compare, this just shows, change in mills on this slide here. So, mills are gonna be going up 14.47. But the thing to look at is, the amount of money that we're asking for is only gonna be $638 dollars from last year. And the reason for that is our taxable values went down. So that causes us to have to ask for more mills. And then this is just a graph comparing the 2 years of levy dollars. This is just the graph showing what it is, comparison to mills. And then this is just some historic data. And you can see, like in 2022, our taxable value was almost 64 million, which equates to about 64,000 per mill. And then it went up and we were at 83 million last year. Then it's dropped back to 75. And then kind of another, this one just shows what our adopted budget for the year is. And our adopted budget is our highest amount without a vote. So we're adopting the 24,228. We talked about this earlier this year, kind of around election time. And we could have went out for a mill levy of 139,000, but by the time we ran the election, for no reason, spent $60,000, we decided just we'll wait till next year to do that. Any questions on that slide? Then here just kind of a graph of seeing what the trend is for that elementary general fund. Here's our A and B going back to 2010. So this is not like enrollment numbers. This is A and B, which is calculated. It's how we calculate for the budget. So and you can either be like a 3-year average, or it can be what you had, what the greater amount is for a 3-year average or what you have in that year. Right now, we're going on 3-year. We're using a 3-year average because we get a bigger A and B, so that gets our budget up. But yeah, it's kind of interesting to see what the enrollment has been. And then this is these are the different funding sources that make up our budget. So it's direct state aid, special education payments. So they all have their different names. And then we have the taxpayer is the base levy, and then the over base levy. And then one thing to highlight is we talked about this is the STARS Act. So with the STARS Act and with negotiations, we were able to meet the requirement for that. So you can see the quality educator payment. So we received double the quality educator payment. So it's a pretty big jump. Last year we received almost a little over 800,000. This year we got 1.6 million. So the STARS Act was really good as far as getting us some more money. Any questions on that?
Kevin, this is Tom. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So just quickly, so we have to be at 62% of the district's total average salary, and then by 2029, 70%. So, and you may have provided this previously, but so where are we as a district within that? I mean, obviously,
So
62%.
Yeah. So this year, we are at the 70%.
Oh, okay.
So we decided, we might as well get to that number now while we have the money. And so we are meeting the requirement of the 70%. So depending on, it's kind of a targeted number, but I think we'll have met that the next few years too. I don't really see that changing too much. So yeah, we're at the 70%.
Thank you.
And that was Judy's and Kevin's aim throughout negotiations to make sure that we hit that 70% the first year.
And then this year is just kind of shows the 3 different categories that is how we get to what our adopted budget is. So they're made up of a fund balance reappropriated. So that's money from last year that we didn't spend that we're allowed to bring forward. Some of it goes to increase your budget, and then there's some funds where a portion of it might go to decrease the levy amount in that budget. And then you have non-levy revenue, like for the general fund, that's all the state aid. Transportation, that's state aid. Retirement fund, that's the county money that we get. And then building reserve is a portion of what the state kicks in on our building reserve fund. Then we have our local tax dollars. And when you add those 3 up, it gives us what our adopted budget is going to be. And then I just put this comparison for the fiscal year 26 compared to fiscal year 25. I have another slide later on that shows that same comparison. And then this here is just kind of showing there's 3 different categories of like for the budget. We have collect tax revenue that voters have approved. We've got permissive levies that's mandated by law. And this one here is the base budget of the general fund is what that number comes from. And then these are just permissive levies. Like for transportation, tuition, technology, not technology, sorry. Adult ed, building reserve. We don't have to go to the voters for approval by that. You guys can just set the levy amount for those funds. So you can see that's just 65% of it is for voter approved. We have 16% that's mandated by taxes, and then about 19% of our total budgeted funds is permissive. All right, so that was the elementary budget. After I go through the high school, then I have a slide that shows kind of elementary and high school combined together with what the projected mills are going to be and what we're anticipating for taxes. So any questions on the elementary as of now? Can you hear okay out there, Judy?
Oh, absolutely. You're good.
Okay. So this is the Mayfair's first page. What was sent out on the agenda was this was like on the first page for the elementary and high school, and then if you were to scroll through that, you could kind of see the detail of every fund. So we're looking at 55.67 mils total for the high school. This is just change in mils of, so it's gonna go up 8.92 mils. This is a little bit different than the elementary. Here we're seeing a $386,000 increase. We've got portion of that is an overbase, transportation, bus depreciation, and then the tuition and the adult ed. The bus depreciation, we got a bunch of new buses, so we're depreciating them. So that's kind of why that jumped up a little bit. Then the activity bus is in there too. So that's kicking those amounts up a little bit more than last year. And then this is just a graph of that same thing. This is levy dollars from 26 compared to 25. Your mills comparison. And then again here, just some historic data. Taxable value, you can see went down 9%. FY22 is at 72 million. Last year we were at 101 million. And then it went back down to 91. Kind of something to look at is if you see our budget increase. So it's been, 2.7, 1, 2.2, almost 2. And then we have 8.7 this year increase. And that's the big reason, contributing factors to that is we had the STARS Act. And then we got money for the charter school. So that's why we see a big influx that. Because you can see, I think, yeah, it's not being driven. Usually those budgets are driven by A and B, but you can see our A and B is actually down from last year. So our adopted budget in the high school this year is going to be the 12,862,190, which is up about a little over $1 million from last year. And then you can see, this shows that big jump in 2026 here. It's kind of interesting with our A and B. Back in 2016, we're at 1,319 and we are 1,318. And then So yeah, this is just showing all the state funding and then our levy amounts. Just was noting in here that, a quality educator payment, we got 344,000 last year. We're at 710 this year. And then we received, for the Pathway Academy, 364,000 of additional, direct state aid. They can see, last year we're at 4.8 and we're about 5.1. So those are the, some key things to look at when you're looking at those. That's, where the budget kind of increased quite a bit. Any questions on that? Right. So then this is just, same slide, you got your fund balance reappropriated, non-levy revenue through local dollars, and then that generates our adopted budget. See the mills, 56.67 this year and 46.75 last year. Some of that increase is due because of the taxable values decreased. Then a portion of it is we did increase levy dollars about 300,000. And then this is just same thing. You have your voter approved taxes, permissive that are mandated by law, and then our permissive. So we have about 2.4 of voter approved, 1.2 of permissive, about 1.2 of the permissive mandated by state law, about 1.4 of permissive. And then this is just a disclaimer for the next slide. So legislative changed the way that they are calculating taxes. They changed it to a tiered system. I think anything over 400,000 has a different rate than anything under 400,000. And then also, one thing that I think they did that we don't know is I think there's different rates on your primary home and secondary home. So my calculations on the next page, I'm estimating that we'll see a reduction in the tax bill, but I don't have all of the data to make. Like before, it was just, pretty easy upfront to make, but because now there's so many different factors that are built into that, we can't as easily and accurately predict that as we could before they changed that. So that's my disclaimer. So here's the elementary and the high school combined. You have our 26 mills, or 26 total between the two districts here at the bottom is 197.47. Last year it was 174.08. We're seeing an increase of 23 mills, 0.39. Our dollar amount, so the elementary was just over $600. Then the high school is 386,000. So we're at 386,815 in dollar increase that we're asking for. And then, so we have FY25. So all these numbers here are based off of what last year's assessment values were. And then 2026, these are based off of what the new rates are. Not knowing if they're primary houses or whatever. This is, I think, basically based on everybody's primary. So you can see that even though our taxable value went down and we're asking for more mills because the way that they are taxing the different home values that I'm estimating that like $100,000 home would probably see like an $84 decrease in their taxes for the year. a $300,000 would see around $184 decrease. And then a 600,000 would see around $106 decrease. So any questions on that? And then they also, like during the legislature, they changed the law. I think remember all the stuff that we used to have was like $100,000 home, the $200,000 home. Now they want us to put 100,000, 300, and 600,000. That'll go to the, like, when we're running, we run like a levy election, like on the ballot, it always used to say 100,000 and 200. Now they're making us do a 1, 3, and 6. So that's a change too. All right, so that's kind of the end of the elementary and general fund budgets. Now I'm just gonna go into some of kind of our other budgets that we have. Just highlight a couple of things. Our tuition fund. So the 2023 legislature was House Bill 203. So this is the first year that doing payments between districts for out of district kids. So we had to budget in some money for that. So we're anticipating 65,000 that we will pay out of the tuition levy for the elementary district and about 40,000 for the high school. In the general fund, so we'll pay out of here, but then other districts are going to be paying us. So I think just off the top of my head, we were anticipating in the elementary district of collecting about $129,000 from other districts, and then we have to deposit that into the general fund. And then I can't remember what the high school was. I mean, it was like maybe around 60,000. And then we have the tuition we pay for in-state treatment or foster care placements. We also get some bills for some of our students that go to detention centers. And then we have estimated based off of our IEPs and what it costs to educate some of these higher needs students. We're looking to levy 500,000 in the elementary for that and 400,000 in the high school. Any questions on that? Okay. And then we have our flexibility fund. So usually we haven't really seen any revenue go into the flexibility fund for a long time. But with the House Bill 408 in 2023, they had it where for this innovative education program account, so for advanced opportunity. This year we received 36,000 in the elementary and 103,000 in the high school. And this was due to Judy applied for the innovative education program and put an application with OPI, and we were approved. And so any districts that did that are seeing some additional money. Then it's just so the advanced opportunity aid distribution is what they call it. They can be used for a number of things: dual credit, exam fees. Let's see, the cost of participating for qualifying pupils in out of district enrichment activities. So there's a number of things that we can use that money for, but it is restricted to those uses.
And if you remember right, trustees, it goes to, we submitted our advanced opportunities strategic plan. So for anything that's listed in that plan, these funds can go towards that, funding that strategic plan. And that was, you guys approved that a while back. So that was part of the application process.
Okay, and then we have our technology fund. So in the elementary, We voted in, we passed the election in 2017. We started levying in 2018. There's only one more year left on that levy. So next year we'll be able to collect another $300,000 and then that'll expire. So we'll have to decide what we want to do going forward with that. So just something to think about in the back of your mind. The high school has no tuition, no technology levy, so we don't levy any dollars in the high school. Our debt service fund. So this is our bond for East. I just did a cutout of what kind of where we're at. So we're here 2026. We have a few years. It's going to start going down quite a bit. But yeah, to date, this is where we're at. We do receive a debt service assistant reimbursement because we qualify as a GTB district. So last year we received $564,000 that the state kicked in, and so we didn't have to. That would kind of relieve the local taxpayers of that amount. And then the elementary mines money, I just wanted to let you guys look at this. We're sitting at 8.6 million in there. We've got 5 million that's kind of in cash at the county and almost 3.45 in investments. The investments are bonds. And then we received our metal mines license payment. That was 521,000 this year. And then we paid out 219,000 towards retiree incentives this year in the elementary. And then this is the high school metal mines. There's 8.3 in there, 4.7 in cash, and 3.4 in investments. And then the metal mines tax money we got was 521,000 in there. Then I guess investment income we got was 319,000 in the elementary and 322 high school. And then we have our multi-district agreement fund. So this year we put 399 transferred into there out of high school, and then 702 out of the elementary. So our balance after doing that, we have 4.6 million in there. I don't think I put the expensive up. So last year's budget was 4.1. This is how we had it broken out. These were the expenses. Budget minus the expenses, we ended up with 3.4. We collected 1.7 in revenue. And then I distributed it based off the 60,000 or 60%, 30 and 10 to those line items. The one thing that we did add was in for the elementary and the high school, we give curriculum a budget for adoption. And so Judy and I talked about is instead of trying to spend that down, we told Ron if he can save it, we'll throw it in here and then come in adoption. That'll help pay for some of the adoptions because they're just getting more expensive and more expensive. So it's hard to on an adoption year to just throw 300,000 or 400,000 into the budget. So we put that line item in just so we can carry it to help on an adoption year for curriculum. So that's why I see that. And then, so any questions on any of those budgets? So then I just did a double A comparison, and these are 2025 budget amounts, so last year's, because I don't have access to their stuff yet this year. So it's kind of interesting to see. This is total property taxes that each district. And so Butte, we're at like 15 million. Belgrade is the closest behind us at 19. Then it jumps up Kalispell 27. You got Missoula 53, Bozeman 56, and Billings at 67 million. So I think you guys are doing a great job of keeping our taxes down. Then we have just tuition levy, because I know last year was, maybe it was last year, or was it 2 years ago, we kind of decided to start permissively levying that. So I kind of wanted to show you guys where other school districts were. Last year we were at 721. That's gonna bump up a little bit this year. Got Belgrade at 500,000, Bozeman 583, and a lot of the other districts are in the millions. So over 2 million, and Helena, Kalispell, and Missoula, and Billings is at 7 million. And then these are just A and B numbers compared to the other districts. And then this number doesn't really mean anything, but I thought it was kind of interesting. And I thought it maybe would show kind of apples to apples, but what I took was the levy dollars spent and then divided it by the total A and B to kind of get a levy dollar per A and B. And so we're at 3.4. Great Falls is at 3.4. Billings, even though they are, have a lot of levies per student, they're really only at 3,941. So the Bozeman, they're like $7,319 per student. So that was just kind of interesting. And I think that's it. That's all I have. All right, thanks. Enjoy your jelly. Unless you guys have any questions.
Any questions? Dealing in millions of dollars, millions of millions of.
And I know I went through that really fast, and then if you guys, if you're looking through the presentation and you have a question on any of it, feel free to call me. I can talk about whatever your question is. So, all right.
A lot of information,
That was a lot of information.
but it's.
Thank you, Kevin, that was awesome, and I appreciate the work, the work that goes into all of that, and it's over a whole year, so thank you so much, and we're lucky to have him, so thank you.
Are you ready for the next step, Mr. Patrick? Resolutions.
Yes.
Okay. Next item on our agenda is the approval of the budget resolution for the elementary fiscal year 26. Resolution fixing the tax levy for various funds of the Butte County Elementary District Number 1 at a rate which will raise the amount set out in the final budget as the amount necessary to be raised by tax levy for each fund, fiscal year 2025 and 2026, and providing for an effective date herein. Be it resolved that the School Board of Trustees of the Butte School District Number 1, in Section 1, the tax levy necessary to raise the amount of each fund is set out in the final budget of Butte County Elementary School District and hereby fixed at the following millage, with the total number of mill levies being in the elementary 141.80. I need a motion from trustees. Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Do trustees have any questions to Mr. Patrick regarding the Elementary School Board of Trustees resolution for budget? Hearing none. All those approve, All those who approve, please say aye. Aye.
Tom votes aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to the next one, which is the School Board of Trustees Resolution for the high school fiscal year 2025-26. A resolution for the fixing of tax levies for the various funds of the Butte County High School District Number 1 at a rate which will raise the amount set out in the final budget as the amount necessary to be raised by tax levy for each fund for fiscal year 25-26 and providing an effective date herein. Be it resolved by the School Board of Trustees of the Butte School District Number 1, tax levy necessary to raise the amount of each fund is set out in the final budget for Butte County High School District Number 1 is hereby fixed at the following rate of millage. Total number of mills for the high school fund is 55.67. Motion from trustees. Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Do trustees have any questions to Mr. Patrick regarding the high school resolution for budget? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Tom votes aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. At this time, anyone wishing to speak on any item not on the agenda may step forward now. Please identify yourself before you begin. I must caution anyone wishing to speak, you may not discuss personnel issues, student issues, or pending litigation during the time. Due to time constraints, each speaker will be allowed 3 minutes. Do we have any public comment on items not on the agenda? Seeing none, move to adjourn this first meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of adjournment for the first meeting, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. All right. I'd like to call to order for our special meeting regarding Montana School Boards Association. Again, the public portions of the board meeting are being recorded in accordance with District Policy 1420 and Section 2-3-214 MCA. By remaining in this meeting, all participants and attendees acknowledge they may appear on the recording, which will be placed on the school district's website for a minimum of 1 year from the date of the meeting. What we have here is the 2025 Montana School Board's membership electronic vote. Dear members, given our lack of registrations to meet our quorum requirements, the 2025 annual meeting in June was canceled. Therefore, we are conducting the necessary business of the association at this time via electronic means pursuant to MTSBA bylaws. Please cast your votes on behalf of your Board of Trustees on the following items that come as a seconded motion from the Montana School Boards of Directors. All right. First one, confirmation of the Montana School Boards Association current principles and guidelines. Let me read number 3. Our school district 3, I got it.
Yeah.
Please indicate whether your school district supports or opposes the Montana School Boards Association principles and guidelines as presented. This is a yes or a no vote. That's all it is. Okay. Our school district approves the Montana School Board principles and guidelines as presented. Our school opposes the Montana principles and guidelines. Our school abstains from voting on this issue. All right. How many people vote for approval? 1, 2, 3. Tom?
Tom votes to approve.
Okay. Michael? Yes.
Sure.
That's a yes. All right. Please indicate whether your school supports or opposes the foundational elements of the Montana School Boards and so organizational DNA as presented. Again, the 3, approves, opposes, abstains. How many people approve the foundational elements of Montana School Boards Association? Patty and Kathy. Tom?
Tom votes to approve.
I can hear.
We can't hear you. They'll be a little louder.
Tom votes to approve. Sorry.
Thank you. Michael?
No.
All right. Do I have to put numbers? Oh, well, that's a. Please indicate whether your school district supports or opposes the FY 27 dues revenue estimate. You are not voting on your dues, rather the dues revenue estimate that is calculated pursuant to the member adopted Montana school bylaws. Again, approves, opposes, abstains. Patty? Approved. Kathy? Ann, approve. Michael?
No.
Okay. And Tom?
Tom votes to approve.
Okay. Please indicate whether your school district supports or opposes the nomination of Rick Cummings, the Region Number 5 Director and Cascade Trustee, as the Montana School Boards Association President-elect and unanimously nominated by the Montana School Board of Directors. Approves, opposes, abstains. Patty? Approve. Kathy? Tom?
Approve. Tom votes to approve.
And approve. Michael? Thank you. Please indicate whether your school district supports or approves the nomination of Jennifer Hoffman, Montana Municipal Director for Billings Public School, as the Montana School Boards Association Vice President, and again unanimously nominated by the Board of Directors. Patty? Approve. Kathy?
Yes.
Tom?
Votes to approve. Tom votes to approve.
Thank you. Michael? Thank you. And approve. All right, I put my name on it and we are done. All right, here we go. At this time, I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn. Patty's moved. Second? And moved and seconded. All those in favor of adjournment, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, folks.
Thanks, everybody. Such a Wednesday we have for you, right?
Yeah. Thanks, Judy.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Judy.
everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
The internet you found us.
I don't know.